Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into the lounge. It's a little late, but we're going to do the recap for week 6 here. This will be a pretty good video. Got some kind of special stuff in store for you. So first things first, not sure if everybody's aware, but obviously I had the great interview with the warden, Scott Ward, over the weekend. The owner of the warden and short bus driver and myself, we all got together for a different purpose, but went ahead and utilized some of that opportunity to go ahead and get an interview with him out of the way. I also got an interview with a short bus driver that will be attached to this video here in just a few minutes. Not quite as exciting and exhilarating and open as the warden's interview, but nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and share it with you guys. Just kind of gives you a little bit about each of these owners, and I can't wait to get with you guys who haven't done it yet. All right, so real quick, we're going to do just a rundown of the scores from last week. We had Johnson facing myself, the motorboaters. Team Johnson pulls out the win there, 113 to 101. Again, we'll dive into these a little bit deeper here in just a few minutes. Next game up on the docket was Don versus Short Bus Driver. Short Bus Driver handled that one no problem at all, 131 to 74 for Don. Beats by Ray, big winner, 123 over Caddies, 95. And then Big Fish stays winless there at 0-6 now. Comes up short against Watson's Bath and Spa, 115 to 99. And then Warden knocks down the undefeated TOB committee, which he did call last weekend. So great job, Scott. That total was 119 to 107. Maybe I'm partly responsible there, so I apologize, baby. And then the last game of the weekend was the highest scoring game of the weekend. Coffee Creamers, 143 to the Gordon Fisherman's 128. So another win there for Coffee Creamers. And we're going to dive into the division records here next. All right, so overall records by division here. We got the noob division. TOB stays on top of that division, 5-1. She's got a commanding 2.5 game lead over the Gordon Fisherman's 2-3-1. Caddy comes in third there, 1-4-1, followed by Big Fish in fourth place there at 0-6. Somewhere in the middle, we have Watson's Bath and Spot, 5-1. He just keeps on figuring out a way to get wins, even though he's not putting up huge numbers. Don, Beats by Ray, and Team Johnson are all kind of coming in there tied at 3-3. So really tight division races going on, fellas and lady. And then there in the vets division, we got two guys at 4-2. That's Short Bus Driver and Coffee Creamers, followed by myself at 3-3, and then the Warden at 2-4. So 2 games separating these divisions, and it's going to be a crazy finish here as we reach the halfway point coming up after week 7. All right, so a few things I want to touch on before we go diving deeper into the games is again right here I'm going to go ahead and attach the interview that I had with Short Bus Driver, so go ahead and sit back and enjoy this one. All right, we're out here going to start a interview with one of the owners in the league. This is going to be the owner of the Short Bus Drivers. Jason's right behind me here. So he seems to have all the answers already to all the questions I haven't even asked yet, so let's just hear what he's got to say. Jason, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. What's your answers?
What's your questions?
Well, how you feel like the season's going for you this year?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Only here so he doesn't get fined. I will fine your ass too. All right. So you feel like you're doing pretty well this year?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
You motherfucker. So did you take the Marshawn Lynch kind of attitude towards? Was it Marshawn Lynch who did this?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
You motherfucker. All right. So he told me he warned me he had everything in place for this interview, and I guess he was right. So let's circle back to see if he can change his answer. Is there anybody you're looking forward to playing this year?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Fuck you. And we're back with Short Bus Driver. See if he's got anything to say now. He's got a couple cocktails in him. Let's see if he's got a different answer to his questions. Hey, Jason. How's things going?
I've been informed I'm going to get fined if I don't answer.
You are going to get fucking fined. Your entry fee is going to be doubled to $1,000. That's $100.
I'm glad you can.
That escalated quickly. All right. So, what's your takeaways from the year so far?
It's been a fun year, but I'm just still trying not to get fined.
You're not going to get fined. Are you guys having a good time with the season? You feel like everybody's having a good season?
Yeah, it's been pretty competitive.
Pretty competitive?
Good mix of people.
Yeah. Do you got any moves you're willing to make this year? You got anybody on the trade block?
I've been blackballed by everybody because of you, so I can't make any
That is
trades.
not because of me, dude. I blackballed you with one person. Do you feel like, is everybody on, let me ask you this question. Is everybody on your roster available for trade?
Everybody on my roster is available for trade or purchase.
Or purchase?
Or rent.
So there is a draft pick for a player in your scenario.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a dollar amount on each player, too.
All right.
Just want to flat out buy one.
I got you. All right. So do you feel like you're a playoff team?
Right now I am.
Do you feel like you're going to win your division?
Right now I am.
Oh, fuck you, pal. Anybody you feel like's better than you?
The only one better than me right now would maybe Big Dan.
Just circle back. Go ahead.
Sorry, Big Dan probably be the only one I'm worried about. The rest
Oh,
of you guys,
shit.
I ain't worried.
Oh man, this is funny. Well, just say who you are, say who you represent, and tell the league hello for me one time.
Hey guys, you know it's me. It's Short Bus Drivers. I'll be around to pick you guys up whenever the bus comes by. Just get on, get your seat, and enjoy the ride.
Thanks, Jason. All right, well, that was your interview with Short Bus Driver. It's not much of one, but you know that's just kind of the way he is. He kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. That's Jason for you guys. So, little thing that I want to go ahead and add in here as well. Jason and Scott have been lifelong friends. Not sure if you guys know that, but they're also lifelong Bears fans. So after we got together, these guys went ahead and took the opportunity to do a little musical interlude for you. So going to go ahead and patch that in here, and hope you enjoy it. This is great. So I thank you, Scott and Jason, for taking the time to do this one.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. The Bears have lost the game again. Thought we were headed for 2 in a row, but Justin went down and I screamed, oh no. Then Badgett came in and he fumbled the freaking ball, and the Bears would fall. The Bears fans' hopes are dying.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of fun with those two knuckleheads. I didn't know Jason was so musically inclined, but he never ceases to surprise me. So I thought that was fun. Had to share it with you guys. So thanks again, fellas. All right, so we got one more soundbite. Just want to kind of give you guys a heads up because I know that you guys probably like to watch your own videos or your own game. But just a heads up here. Feel free to stick around for the entire video here because we do got another soundbite by one of the other owners. I guess I can go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Got a little soundbite from Big Fish owner Dan Reddick, so make sure if you want to skip around, whatever you want to do, might take a minute to kind of go through that game as well. You'll have a little surprise visit from Dan. So next up, we're going to move right into the games. All right, welcome back here, guys. We're going to start off with game versus Team Johnson and myself, the Motorboaters. Again, won by Team Johnson, 113-101. Great matchup there with Mark. Went down to Monday night. We both had two guys in the Monday night game, and Mark just had the better two this week. Part of me's kind of kicking myself for the trades I've made. Did I trade away my season? I sure hope not. I still feel like I got a good squad that we can kind of rebound from this. I haven't won 2 games in a row. I haven't lost 2 games in a row either. So hopefully that keeps to be a trending topic, and we'll pick up the win this coming week. But as we look into the numbers here, just kind of a few things that stick out to me. Again, going the Monday night game, he had Herbert and Tony Pollard. Both of them got 20 apiece. So that was 40 points combined there on that Monday night. And I had Eckler and the tight end for Dallas. And I had with a 15-point lead. Eckler did okay, but just not really up to his normal standards. So Mark just kind of pulled away there towards the end. A good surprise, bright spot for Team Johnson's roster is the coming out of Zay Flowers, the rookie. He had 17 points. He's actually moved into the top 25 of wide receivers overall. Only had 4 points from Devontae Adams, who's kind of had, I think, he's kind of up or down. He's hit and miss this year. Real kind of inconsistencies with the quarterback position there in Las Vegas. I tried to trade for him. I know my brother Jason has as well. I'm not sure if Mark's kind of kicking himself or not yet for not moving him on, just to kind of get some reinforcements in return. But it is what it is at this point. But the move that really won this game for Mark was he added the Houston Texans tight end Dalton Schultz. And that move alone, the tight end he had played the week before, Higbee from the Rams, only scored 3 points. And the move that Mark made leading up to this week was Schultz. Schultz got 16 points, so that directly accounts for the win there. If that's a 13-point difference, if Mark leaves his tight end as is that week, he actually ends up losing by 1. So a great ad drop there, Mark. I don't think I gave you a kudos to that in person, but that move right there won you the game. So no real help from the bench for Johnson there. Just kind of was what it was. Motorboaters, myself, ETN 25, Diggs the new acquisition 21. So it's rock solid there. Kirk Cousins is really killing me right now. I don't know if it's just the loss of Jettis, but 9 points from a top 5 quarterback, and I the way things are trending with Minnesota, I see kind of Kirk Cousins maybe slowly dipping out of the top 10, and I believe the last 2 weeks combined he's not even sniffed the top 20. So a real struggle there. We're probably going to be making a move at the quarterback position, and then we're still waiting on Calvin Ridley to kind of get back to the numbers that we all started to expect after week 1. I only got 2 from my tight end, and I did leave 2 20s on the bench, but even if I would have swapped them in for the players in those positions, I still wouldn't have been able to really account for the difference there of a 12-point loss. So it is what it is. I just take the loss and hope I can right the ship next week against Big Dan. Next game coming up. All right, here we got the short bus drivers, 131 against Don 74 for the next game. This is a game that really I have to focus on injuries. Short bus driver, he's finding ways to win. He's at the top of the division, but you talk about somebody who's been decimated by injuries. I think I counted up 5 injuries to the running back position currently. Not to mention he has Justin Jefferson, who's on IR. And then he lost Kyron Williams in that game, who's also out now. So Jason has just been absolutely crushed with injuries. On the other side, during this game, Don actually had Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel, which I'm not sure if you guys checked into that San Francisco game, but actually lost both of those guys to injury. I'm not sure if they're going to be back this coming week or not, but they didn't. They went out early enough to where it definitely affected the score. I don't think Donnie was really going to have enough to kind of match Jason there, but it's just one of those tough things when we're dealing with injuries. He had Pickett and Jones with I think 13 each maybe on the bench, on buys. They were both on buys, so Donnie did have to kind of make some adjustments to his roster, but he chose not to start Kareem Hunt. We'll see if that trends this week or not. But Kareem Hunt had 17 on his bench, which this is a huge loss, almost 60 points. So there's really not much he could have done. He had 6 single-digit or zeros in his lineup and did have a 0. I believe it was the only starting lineup this week that actually had a 0 in there. So tough to bounce back when you make shitty decisions like that, Don. As far as short bus driver goes, he only had 2 guys under 10. He made a great acquisition to that Ahmed to kind of fill in there in Miami, and I don't know if it would have produced much if it wasn't for the fact that that game kind of got out of hand. I think he kind of ended up putting up those numbers a little bit late, but whatever it was, he still got 13. But 37 points from his wide receivers combined. Again, Jason's always had a deep wide receiving group, and we all know that. 2 decent wide receivers on his bench as well. Laporta let him down a little bit with 7. But that Kyron Williams injury, he even put up 26, so he played most of the game, but just getting injured. So yeah, Jason. And then one name I forgot to mention is also week 1 or 2 lost J.K. Dobbins. So that's just seems to be cursed. He's like the Colts, man. We just can't catch a break. But good win for Short Bus, and we'll see what happens next week. All right, next game of the week here, we got Beats by Ray 123 over Caddy 95. Beats by Ray takes a big injury to David Montgomery, his running back, who's been a bright spot. Really just been kind of a joy to watch myself. I'm kind of a low-key Lions fan. but he does have the backup there, so that helps him out moving forward. Cooper Kupp has been absolutely unbelievable since he's been back, so that's got to be exciting for Tim. Nico Collins only got 12, but he's actually slipped into the top 10 as far as wide receivers go, so that's been a great ad job there. But hopefully he'll get big things out of Craig Reynolds coming forward, and we'll kind of see what happens moving forward. As far as Caddy goes, Caddy had 20 from Pittman, in kind of a crazy game for the Colts where they didn't do much offensively, still got 20. But that Fields injury probably pretty much just summed this game up before it could really get going for him. And then he was forced his hand to with A.J. Dillon and Najee Harris on buys. He kind of had to go to patchwork for the second running back position. That was Kenneth Gainwell, and only got him 2 points. So just dumb luck, just didn't work out for Caddy this week. And I guess it just kind of is what it is. But another bright spot for Caddy, Evan Ingram. I'm not sure what he got that week, but he kind of has slipped up into the top 6 as far as tight ends go. So, Caddy doesn't have a great record, but he's definitely a team who's going to have weeks where he puts up big numbers, and he's not going to be an easy win. So, congrats to Tim, moving to 3-3 and right in the mix of a tight division. So we'll see you guys what happens next week. All right, we're back here. We got Team Big Fish against Watson's Bath and Spa for our next game. 115 for Watson's, 99 for Big Fish. So Big Dano drops to 0-6. Diving into these numbers, Dano, he's got Jalen Hurts, always going to put up numbers, and he did put up a 20 again, as well as Derrick Henry, 20. But he had no one else over 11. Dan finds. He's got guys that score. He doesn't have anybody that really jumps off the page at you. When I look over his bench, I thought it was an interesting move that he didn't play Amari Cooper, but then I looked at his wide receivers, and these are options I may have went with as well, especially with Deshaun Watson out, but it's starting to look like Amari Cooper might be able to be putting up numbers whoever's behind center there. So, but, he actually had some good bench balance as far as points go. I don't think there was a move he could have made that would have flipped the script on this game. But as you look at some of those guys on his team, it's got to be a little bit promising for Dan, who's my next opponent. I really feel like he might get this first win, and it might be against me, unfortunately. As far as Watsons go, Adam Thielen, 29 points, might be the pickup of the year in my opinion. Obviously, Kyron Williams is one, but when Drew made the trade for Thielen, I really thought he kind of overspent for him. And I can't say that I'm not happy to see Adam Thielen kind of get back to what we remember him in Minnesota as. But on a shitty offense, he's putting up massive numbers on a weekly basis. I think he's number 4 ranked receiver right now. With the struggles that Drew's having with D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, he finding no consistency there. I think he's going to kind of bring up some of these other guys that have been stashed away on his bench. He had Jacoby Myers with 17 and Kendrick Bourne with 18 this past weekend. So I look for Drew to move one of those into the starting lineup and kind of rock and roll that way. But I think Drew's season, in my opinion, might be saved with this kind of reemergence of Ramondre Stevenson, a guy I thought was flat out terrible. When you look early on in his schedule, just a tough gauntlet of defenses that are really good against the run, and last week he played a mediocre defense, and he started to break out with 19 points. And if this is a trending thing with Ramondre Stevenson, it kind of changes the whole aspect of how Drew's team could be. He's not scoring a shit ton yet, 115, but gosh, if Ramondre continues to do what he did last week, and Thielen does his thing, I think Drew's going to make the right moves here. And again, he's just not. He finds a way to win. So kudos to you, bub. And then Dano, just wanted to go ahead and I was able to kind of catch up with Dan and get a little sound bite. So we're going to slip that in right here before we move on to the next game. So appreciate the sound bite, Dan.
I think I've lost touch with fantasy. I tell you what, if I knew my team was going to be this bad, I would have drafted lesbians.
All right. Well, that's not really Dan, but I had to kind of poke some fun at him just to have a good time here and kind of keep things different, keep things moving along. So, hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Anyway, moving right back here to the games, we got the Warden versus TOB Committee. So the Warden was the second worst team it took to give TOB the first loss. I don't think it's a huge loss for her. She's in somewhat of a weaker division, so she's even with the loss, she still maintains a 2.5 game lead. I directly influenced the outcome of this game in one move, and that was I talked her into swapping out the tight ends. I really felt like Jonnu Smith was going to kind of start taking a backseat to Kyle Pitts, and for whatever reason, I don't understand why Pitts isn't really taking off this year, but that move right there, we can look at the trade last week, and that, could that be a direct reflection? Yeah, if she would have left her lineup completely the same as the week before, she would have won by a couple points. But Vanessa's not looking week to week. She's looking long term. She knows she's got a good chance to get in the playoffs. She's trying to get to that final week of the playoffs. So I still feel like she's going to be, kind of knocking down some wins here moving forward once she kind of solidifies how she's going to play that running back roster. But, she's in a pretty good situation, and I have to take full blame for that loss. I'm sorry, baby. I kind of gave you some bad advice. So just one thing is when I give advice, it is what it is. It's just one man's opinion, just like those projections, all right? So, we want to talk about projections. We don't get too carried away on them. Otherwise, people would have been drafting Raheem Mostert number 1. So just keep that in mind. But back to the game here. We had Warden winning. He had 22 from Kelsey, who slides up into the number 1 tight end position again where he belongs. Puka only got 6 this week, which is a down week for him. But A.J. Brown and the way he's been playing, I have to think that A.J. has probably in the last 4 weeks been a number 2 receiver, I do believe, but overall number 6. No less than 19 in the last 4 games. So, when you're carrying a 20-point plus average in 4 games in a row, you're doing something special. I'm going to slip in a little clip right up here because if you guys remember the interview, Scott talked about his deep bench. Well, how's that deep bench for you? Not very deep at all. But he still found a way to win. I know that's all that matters to the Warden. And then, like I said, on the TOB side, she's had a couple down weeks from John Robinson. Zach Moss has been a complete surprise and welcome surprise for Colts fans and TOB committee. He's actually the number 5 ranked running back, and even with JT back, he still was able to muster up 18 points. JT did, I think, 11 himself, 11 or 13, so I think it was 11. But a real downer for her has been the play of T. Higgins. And he only got 4 points, and it's just been real frustrating for kind of most of that Cincinnati offense. Burrow's been down, Mixon's been down, Jamar Chase started off horribly. So, we'll see if they ever kind of get back to what we were expecting from them. But she did get a 16 from Olave, and just to kind of put it in perspective in the trade, 16 for Olave. Jonathan Taylor came here her way for 11, which she didn't play. And then the tight end only 2. I got 21 out of Diggs, so overall she is had a point advantage there. It's just, is she going to figure out how to play him the right way each and every week? So, sorry, baby, we knew the loss was going to come. I guess if it was going to come, no one better to give it back to than Scott Ward and the Wardens. So, sorry, the Warden. But great game, guys, and Scott, you are coming, man. We'll see if we can't hold you off. All right, last game of the week. Gordon Fisherman versus Coffee Creamers, highest scoring game of the week. Coffee Creamers 143, winners over Gordon 128. I look up and down Gordon and his roster, and I keep thinking his record isn't as good as I feel like it should be. He actually scores very well. He's the second leading scorer in all fantasy for us. He's got a really deep running back core with one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Patrick Mahomes. He's scoring consistently over 120, 125. He just can't seem to really stack wins right now. But I have to trust the process that they will come. But the real struggle for Gordon right now is, the play of Jerry Jeudy and the fact that he just doesn't really have a clear-cut number 1 receiver there. And we can look back at the Devontae Smith trade that I made with him, I think week 2 or 3. I can tell you, I haven't even been playing Devontae Smith the last 2 weeks because he's been so terrible. So I didn't take a number 1 from him. I gave him a number 1 running back. So, and with that being said, as we look at those numbers, Raheem Mostert had 37 in that game. So his second 35-plus game of the year, I believe, maybe even third. Mahomes' usual 18. I think the way Logan's receivers are, I think he's going to need 20-plus out of Mahomes on a consistent basis to be able to really compete. And then Kenneth Walker, I love this pick for Logan. 20 again, just quietly doing his thing. You know, nobody, especially with him being stuck out west, nobody really pays too much attention to him here. But you know, he's quietly putting together a great season. He's not in the top 3 as far as running backs goes, but he's not far from it. Just doing a real nice job. So Jerry Jeudy, 4 points. I mean, that Denver Broncos team, I mean, I keep hoping that Judy's going to get traded. We're kind of running out of time for that to happen. I know the Colts have been involved or in talks with Denver trying to work something out, but it just hasn't happened. I'd like to see him go somewhere else just because I feel like he's being wasted there. And then on the other side of this, you got coffee creamers. You know, did I make coffee the strongest team in the league with that addition of Amon-Ra St. Brown? I may very well have. I felt like this was a move I could suffer, but you know, he got 31 out of Amon-Ra, and I'm not going to say that's a fluke game, but he's only hit 20 one other time this year, and he was basically running a 17-point average. So I don't anticipate those numbers to keep doing that. That's a good team there in Detroit. They will find other guys stepping up and kind of taking some of his numbers. And he's got a tough matchup this week coming up against the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll just kind of continue to monitor that situation as we move forward. But Tyreek, number 1 receiver, 30 again. And Kamara's been a great trade for him, 19. And then, you know, Drake London, real bright spot, even though he's not having to use him right now. But he's not been in the single digits in his last 3 games. So Braden's number 1 in overall scoring. This was a game of number 1 against number 2. Braden's got a real solid lineup, top to bottom. But what's going to maybe hold Braden back could be the quarterback position. That lost Anthony Richardson. I know he's going to rely on C.J. Stroud for now. I look for him to try to push for trades, maybe try to pick up somebody's quarterback, you know, that might put him in a bit of a better situation. But for now, you know, he's finding ways to win. He moves back into the tie for, I guess, second, but a tie for the lead in our division at 4-2. Just a gritty win there, man. I thought Logan might be able to snag that one from him, but kind of grabbed the reins and took it back. So great job, Braden, and let's see if Logan can't bounce back. So that's it, guys. That's the end of Week 6's recap. So Week 7's coming up. Just a quick reminder, that's going to be the halfway point of the season. I'm going to look to probably do a special little preview video this week to kind of kick things off as we move into Sunday morning, get everybody ready for the games, and then from there, you know, I'll probably dive a little bit deeper into some of the numbers and how things are going to shake out, and just kind of what we're looking like at the halfway point from there on. So appreciate it, you guys. I love making these. Hope you guys enjoy watching them as much as I like making them, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And special thanks to the guys who had a little extra input this week with some of those sound bites and clips, and I appreciate those Bears fans for that great video. Thanks, Jason and Scott. See you guys next week. Mish out.